Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Sorry, Tyler Durden, but today, we're talking about the Fight Club Edward Norton as the narrator figure from Fishbone Toys. This is the front of the box and this Fishbone's version of the Fight Club logo. The main artwork is something I've seen before from the internet, and I thought that being a third-party unlicensed toy manufacturer, Fishbone just swiped this one off the net and used it. Here's Fishbone Toys logo. Another logo. The sleeve is almost all black. At the back, we see warnings about this toy, that it's only meant to be played by humans aged 15 and onwards. You can pause the video so you can read it. It's made in China and we also got the warning in Chinese characters. Here's another Fishbone Toys logo. Nothing groundbreaking and innovative in terms of box design. Let's take off the sleeve. It's made from a slightly flimsy cardboard. Be careful when handling it, because it easily gets dents and fold marks. Again, this is a very plain black box, but it's very sturdy. There is a slightly laminated feel to it. It has a warning at the back and this one is foil stamped. One thing I noticed when I removed the box cover is the missing foam tray top. I don't know if this is just an isolated case, but one of the hands was rattling all over the first time I opened the sealed box. Here's the main figure. Cigar box and cigarette in Ziploc. Liquors in Ziploc. Here we have the golf club jutting out from its Ziploc. Same goes with the baseball bat. Sig Sauer P226. Sunglasses. A bundle of newspaper. A couple of magazines. An extra hand. When you remove the figure, we see the base. Let's lift the foam tray. And there's nothing there. Let's put it back. Onto the head sculpt. Hey! It's John Cusack. Just kidding. One of the most important part of the figure is the head sculpt. Especially when the figure is based on a real-life person. Not only is it important to catch the likeness, but it has to be lifelike and realistic. The correct expression is also important. The paint job can also make and break a good sculpt, so that one's vital too. On hand, this is a decent head sculpt of Edward Norton as the narrator in Fight Club. I often think that my lighting doesn't give it the justice it deserves. But yes, it's a very realistic sculpt, and when viewed in the correct angle, there's an Edward Norton there. So I popped the head from the body. And I'm looking at it in a different light. Threw in some color grading while editing, to bring out the shadows and contours. In the movie, Ed Norton's hair color changes a lot, depending on the lighting. This is definitely the narrator here. Especially in this angle. That sparkle in the eye is reminiscent of how Hot Toys paints it. Let's take a look at the accessories. We start with the baseball bat. It's die-cast, with a decent paint job. The narrator can hold it well with gripping hands. This bat also came out in Fishbone's bald version of Tyler Durden. Next is the golf club. It's die-cast and it has nice details. It looks a bit bent though. Again, this can easily be held by the gripping hands. Next is the Beretta 92 FS. It's heavy because it's die-cast. Unfortunately, it has no moving parts. You can't remove the clip, but it fits the gripping hands perfectly. From this angle, he looks like David Duchovny. He comes with a pack of Marlboro cigarettes, and you can place it in the pocket of his suit. There's also a cigar made of plastic. It looks cheap and crude. Unfortunately, you can't put it in his mouth, but you can use one of the hands to use it. The cigar and its box are nicely scaled with each other. He comes with a beer, a Budweiser to be precise. I love that they're using real product names illegally. Cheers, mate. There's also Ballantine's blended scotch and whiskey. The bottle feels a bit small, and there are some paint slops on the bottle cap. Let's get this party started, Space Monkeys. You'll also find a mug of beer. This is actually a nicely sculpted and painted accessory. You can see the froth, it's yellowish too. My biggest gripe with the mug is it's too small, it looks like a teacup. Be careful with the sunglasses, it's very fragile. It fits his head perfectly. I think this would be better, if it's a nudge more translucent. The narrator started wearing sunglasses to cover his black eye. There are some printed goods thrown in the box, like this newspaper, it's nicely tied up, and it's all the same. I think there's 5 of them. You get not just one issue of National Geographic, but 2. Sadly, you can't open them. It's too small for a magazine though. It has the proportion of a Reader's Digest. Along with the relaxed hands he comes with, you get a pair of gripping hands, made of good material. It almost matches the head color. A pair of closed fists, very important because these guys love to fight. By the way, these are very easy to swap. No fear of breaking the wrist peg. We have a round plain looking wooden base with a metal plate. It's the right size for a generic base. The way this works is the shoe has magnets, and it holds pretty well even if you shake it. This figure only comes with one outfit. A gray coat, with matching gray pants. The pockets in the coat all work. Underneath is a white collared button polo shirt with long sleeves, and a necktie. It's made of good material, and fits the body nicely. If I have one beef with the coat, is that you can't close it properly. They could have added Velcro, which might actually look weird if the coat is open. Or maybe they could place hidden magnets, or a working button. The buttons are nicely proportioned, and it looks very realistic and well tailored. There are no restrictions in movement even when the coat is on. The inner linings of the coat has a dark satin finish. I was looking for a photo of the necktie that they based this one on, but I can't find it. They used a nicely printed pattern, which reminds me of Gucci, and I think the size is just right. Throughout the movie, Edward Norton is mostly wearing his long sleeve polo. I have to apologize in advance for not taking a video without the tie, and with rolled up sleeves. I forgot to mention that he also has a leather belt. Again, the tailoring on the polo is well done, with the right proportions. I'm not too keen on the body that they used. I know that in the movie, the narrator is slightly skinny. But they could have used a slightly bulky body, especially in the chest area to fill up those gaps. Here he is with the baseball bat. I really wish the body is slightly bulkier. He's wearing black Oxford shoes. He has no feet. You plug the shoe directly at the pegs. And he's not wearing any socks. At the bottom of the shoe is really powerful magnets that attach to the base. I'm not really an expert on describing the articulation, so just watch the video, as I tinker with the narrator. Overall, I'm pleased with the joints on the body that they used. There's no loose joints, everything is still tight and you can move them with ease. There's a great range of motion, and here I'm trying to achieve these fight poses using the closed fist. He has butterfly joints, and double-jointed elbows. Perfect for hitting himself. Let's check the leg articulation by doing some kung fu poses. By the way, he has some slightly thick thighs, and my apologies again for not checking if he has double-jointed knees. I don't usually remove the clothes on my figures, for fear that I may not be able to put them on back properly. That is to check if he has ab crunch, but definitely you can twist the waist and slightly hunch him. When it comes to scale, the narrator stands at exactly 12 inches in height. I think that's just right for a 1/6 scale figure. He's definitely taller than my custom Tyler Durden in bathrobe that uses the JX Toys body. I did a review of that a long time ago. Here he is standing beside Hot Toys the Mechanic, Tony Stark figure. I'm surprised the narrator is a smidge taller than Tony. Here he is with Blitzway's Tyler Durden. Good scale, with the narrator slightly edging Tyler in height. Now that I see it with Tyler, that's a lot of bulk in a coat. It's a great thing I pre-ordered Blitzway's Fight Club set. It's really worth it for an officially licensed toy. Here's the narrator with Blitzway's bald Tyler Durden. Good scale there. Here he is sitting, watching over Project Mayhem. Final thoughts. I was really excited when I saw the pre-order of Fishbone's narrator in one of our local 1/6 suppliers. As an owner of Blitzway's official Tyler Durden release, I've been waiting for a decent Edward Norton figure for the longest time. I missed out on the Ed Norton head sculpt from Loading Toys, and I thought this is just as good. Until, a few days later, Present Toys released their version of the narrator. From the prototype pics, clearly, Present Toys have the more superior looking Ed Norton. And a lot of collectors probably pre-ordered that one. Unfortunately I can't cancel, so I'm stuck with the Fishbone Toys version. Flashback to the time I bought the Craftone Fighter set, because honestly, I'm a big Fight Club fan. And I just snagged that on a local store regardless of the price. Of course Blitzway released an officially licensed set of figures with better sculpt and accessories, so I had to dispose the Craftone one at a bargain. I can't justify myself getting two versions of narrator since 1/6 figures have skyrocketed in price, and both are third-party releases. Don't get me wrong, on hand, Fishbone Toys narrator, or Jack as some call it, or Taylor, is a decent Ed Norton figure, not a super accurate likeness, but it has its moments and its angles. Given the right light, that's definitely Ed Norton. If I may, I would like to give some suggestions on how to make this figure better. First, if you're a big Fight Club fanatic, the name tags are nice to have. The narrator uses different names like Rupert and Cornelius whenever he attends those help groups. The inner long sleeve polo has a working left pocket, and they can place magnets there, and attach metal sheets to the name tag. Second, this is the perfect opportunity to include the penguin power animal. There are penguin toys out there from companies like Schleich, but I want a proper 1/6 scale penguin. Funko was smart enough to include it in their Chase Tyler Durden figure. Last, an alternate head sculpt. Give us a bloodied Edward Norton. Because most of the time we see him with his face beaten up. I am Jack's confused brain. On one hand, I wanted to really dislike this figure knowing there is another, probably, superior version. On the other, I wanted to like this, to justify the money I spent on an above subpar figure. There is no hate for me, because, like I said, I'm a huge Fight Club movie fanatic. I get excited every time a new Fight Club merchandise is announced. In the words of the critical drinker, anyway, that's all I got for today. Go away now.